Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Human Behavior in the Social Environment 2. I wanted to spend some time, um, not too much time, going over the syllabus, but I really view it as the contract between myself and all of the students, and it's important that you know what's in here. So I know it's a bear, but please take some time to review it thoroughly so you understand what's expected of you. And if you know what's expected, then your opportunity to get a good grade improves drastically. Um, I'm not going to read through all of this. I just want to highlight a few things, and then I'll let you do the rest. Here at the top is my contact information. I do not use my Howard email, so please don't email me anything unless it's really not important because I maybe check it once a week. Please use my Gmail. Also, you are welcome to use my personal cell. Please only call if it's really an emergency, but you may text me anytime, and I am up late, so if you text me at 12 or 1, more than likely I will respond. Um, um, Also, when you text, please let me know what class you're talking about. I teach 2 classes every semester, and sometimes the text messages are ambiguous enough that I don't really know what class you're talking about. So, if you would do that for me, that would be helpful. Our class is online, which means you have access to it 24/7 and can do your work as it suits you. That's one of the great advantages. However, new material, I'll post an announcement on Thursday each week for new, think of that as our virtual class day. You don't have to log on at a particular time, but um, do make sure you check sometime on Thursday for the announcements. And you should be checking, couple, 3 times a week, just to see if there are any updates. And I'm pretty sure Blackboard sends you a notification when something new pops online, but um, don't forget about the class. Um, it's convenient, but that convenience can make it easy to not really pay attention to it. I will have office hours every week unless there's something that is preventing me, um, and they will be from 8 to 9 every Thursday. If you need to talk to me and that time doesn't work for you, just email or text me and make an appointment. I'm pretty flexible. I do have a full time job, um, but you know, I can make time, and if it needs to be during the day, I mean, I can usually take time during my lunch hour. So, um, the beginning of the syllabus is all the regular stuff you normally see: the objectives, the goals, all of that. The relationship to the Black perspective. Make sure you check out these things. I think really important, the educational outcomes. You should be able to do these things at the end of the semester. And that's sort of your check. Did I learn anything? Did I learn the things that I was told I was going to learn? And this section talks about the core CSWE educational policies, and their relationship to the class and how you're being assessed. And you can see here in this chart how each of those competencies are related to your assessment measures. Um, I think it's interesting, but it's there for you. Obviously, academic integrity is paramount. There is a plagiarism quiz that's due the 24th of January. Please make sure you take that. Um, Writing matters. Couple things here. Make sure that you have an APA manual. That is critical. If you need help with writing, there is a writing center, and I encourage you to take advantage of that if you need it. Um, the APA manual can be a little hard to get through. If you find it overbearing, check out this website here, owl.english.purdue.edu. It's a great, great reference for APA, and can really help you get everything clearly formatted. And I am a stickler for that. If you have any special needs, please make sure you make me aware of that so that any necessary accommodations can be made. Though the way this class is set up, I mean, you have 6 days to do all of your work for each week. That usually takes care of people's need for time. I don't have timers on the exams. You can resubmit. So you really have a lot of flexibility in the way the class is designed. If you have any issues with interpersonal violence, whether it's sexual assault, domestic violence, sexual harassment, here is information here on who you can speak to about those matters, including university counseling, which I highly encourage students to take advantage of. Course requirements are all here. You do need to know how to use Blackboard. If you don't, it will make this class difficult, and there are all sorts of resources, both through CETLA and online in the class under the resources tab. I want to just say this for the discussion board. The discussion board really is how we mimic the classroom experience, so the opportunity to engage with other people and to have substantive discussions. That is the purpose of using the discussion board, so you need to take that seriously. Each week that a discussion board is due, which is pretty much every week, you must both post and you must reply to 2 other students at least. Now, you can certainly do more, but that is the bare minimum requirement. You must have your post must be at least 200 words and your replies must be at least 100. Um, People who write, "Oh, good job, I really like what you wrote," that is not substantive. Think about how you would talk to someone in a class. If you are talking in class, it's not usually to pat somebody on the back. It's even if you agree with them, you have something to add, and that's what I want to see in the discussion board. Um, let's see. Your texts are here. The breakdown. So there are 8 mini exams. Think about them as reading checks. I've altered them a little bit this semester. The point is, I want to make sure that you're reading your chapters, your chapters in the assigned chapters. Um, it's very important that you get through the material. Pay attention when you're doing your reading. Take notes, whatever works for you. And this is these 8 mini exams are a substantial amount of your grade, as you can see here. Now, they are open book, but we all know open book doesn't necessarily mean easier. I've tried to make sure that I've touched on all of the primary areas in the reading. So if you've read it, it'll be pretty easy. If you don't know it offhand, it will be pretty easy to go back and find where it is. If you haven't done your reading, that will make for a difficult quiz. So do yourself a favor, stay on top of your assigned reading. You have 2 projects, a midterm paper and a final paper, and they are related. The population you pick for your midterm, you will carry on into your theory application. It really is of benefit to you because it reduces the amount of work. And you can see that these 2 assignments account for more than half of your grade. Now, everyone always complains about group work. And the way that we try to take the stress off you is that while typically there's 1 grade given for the papers, you will be asked to turn in your submission, your individual submission to the group work. And I do review those. And if I see that your group work is substantially better or worse, that will be factored in, and I can give individual grades as opposed to a group grade. So if you did the bulk of the work and your colleagues did not participate, I will see that and it will be reflected in your grade. So you do not have to stress that if someone didn't carry their load, that you are somehow going to be penalized for that. But overall, I tend to see that the students work well together, and I'm sure that will be the case as well. And then the final part of your grade is your class participation. There is no midterm exam in this class. You can read more fully about each of the assignments, both here and online. I have an extensive write-up for the midterm and the final paper. There's, you know exactly what is expected of you, and I think it's very important to have clear expectations. So you will not uh, you will not be in the dark as to what I want to see on the papers. If you deliver that in APA format and you've done, you know, good work, you don't have to worry about getting a good grade. This next section here, the units of study, the assigned readings, you can spend some time browsing through that. As you see, we have quite a bit of material to get through this semester, and we will do it in an organized way. And the most important part, probably, of the syllabus, the calendar. This is a pretty extensive calendar. You'll see both the unit assignments and then due dates for each week. We are not adversely affected by the weather delay, the delay starting of classes. We actually have plenty of time. The only difference you'll see, and um, if you've taken other classes with me, I typically like to leave a week between the last class and the due date of the final. I've had to subtract that week. So just bear in mind, after the last class, it's actually the end of that same week your final paper is due. So please make sure you know you've got the whole calendar here. You know every date, every assignment due date. If I do add anything, it would only be some kind of extra credit, which periodically I do. Um, there should not be any changes to the standard assignment. So you know when everything is due, which is why I don't accept late work, except in very, very extreme circumstances. You are ready to go. You just need to stay on top of your work. Um, so that is pretty much it. Please make sure you take some time to read it through. And I'm looking forward to a great semester. Take care.